Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Reds Reloaded, the podcast where we talk about everything Cincinnati Reds. I am your host, Kyle Luther, a lifelong Cincinnati Reds fan. This is Chandler Patrick. He is also a lifelong Cincinnati Reds fan, guys. Now, guys, we want to talk about this grateful yet disappointing Nationals and White Sox series. National series didn't go as planned. We got swept, and we were not expecting that. Nationals had a losing record going into us, so we weren't expecting that at all, guys. Scores from the National Series: 3-5, 2-8, 1-7. White Sox series: 5-4, 0-5, 9-8. So we did cash out on a couple wins against the White Sox, which was great because they do have a winning record. So it was nice to cash out a couple wins against them and take the series. So, Chandler, what is your overall grade for the Reds this week?
Can't really give them any higher than a D. I'll just leave it at that. We got swept by the Nationals, man. And they've already gotten rid of one of their best players at the deadline. Gave up Luis Garcia to the Yankees. So I think biggest surprise and biggest disappointment kind of for me fall into the same category. It's that, and I could even throw really in the toughest loss as well, all as the National Series. Utter failure. The biggest. I didn't think that we was gonna lose the series, let alone get swept by the Nationals. Obviously, that's definitely the big disappointing part of it. If anything, it would have been maybe would have dropped the series to the White Sox. And then, yeah, losing that series, it was just brutal.
Right.
Best win, though, I will give it to the last game against the White Sox. It was that 9-8 win. Pitching was very rough, yes, but the offense just kept battling and battling and battling, and we saw that in the first game against the White Sox and in the third game of that series.
Yeah.
Momentum heading into the next series. It's better because we were able to take down the White Sox, but I still don't think it's that good right now. And I don't think that it's just because of losing the series and getting swept by the Nationals. I think it's also because of what other news has broken down, and we'll get into that more later. But we lost a key piece for likely not only the rest of this season, but probably all of next season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get into that a little later, like you said, during the injury report. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to agree with you on that D. I could go D minus. Our starting rotation was absolutely awful. We'll get into that too. They might have got a award for that. We're not usually handing out awards for bad, but we do here at Reds Reloaded. But like you said, biggest surprise, biggest disappointment. That National Series, man, getting swept by them. And not only that, the games weren't even close. We lost 2-8. We lost 1-7. Those games weren't even close. And, per se, I believe our batting average was above 100, but it was not anywhere close to where it should be or where we expect them to be. Best win, I would go probably that whole White Sox series. To take the momentum from the National Series where we didn't have any to the White Sox series and win that White Sox series, solid. And I think they should take that momentum, like the momentum heading into the next series, take that momentum that you have after beating a team that has a winning record and take it into that next series. Because, like I said, I've said in the last 2 episodes, we have to start winning. There ain't no ifs, no ands, no buts. If we want to make the playoffs, we got to start winning. We're currently sitting at 5.5 games back from a wild card spot, so we only have so many games left for a chance to go to the playoffs as a wild card spot. Toughest loss, yeah, like you said, that National Series. So I mean, I think we'll talk about it around the bases. Who's reloaded? Everything, guys. We will get into and break down. So going game by game, I'm going to cover this Nationals series real quick, and then Chandler's going to cover that wonderful White Sox series. So I'll get into the most terrible part, per se. So, guys, that first game against the Nationals, that 3-5 loss, we batted 219. We had 3 home runs in that game, and they accounted for 3 RBIs. Suarez, McLean, and Ellie, they all had a home run and an RBI. Chase Petty, Chandler, we talked about this in the last episode. It was really weird to see Chase Petty start, and I think the line stats speak for itself. Chase Petty only went an inning and 2/3, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and gave up a home run. And then Garcia came in, 2 1/3 inning, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run. Luis May has been dominant these 2 series. Luis May, 2 2/3 inning, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Zach McCambley came in, 1 inning, 1 1/3 inning, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Defense side, nothing to really talk about. Stolen base by Marte, and we left 5 men on base. Here's where it gets rough, guys. Second game against the Nationals, we lost 2-8. And then the batting average, we only batted 156 in this game. Suarez had a home run and 2 RBIs. He accounted for our only runs in that game. Chase Burns pitched that game. He went 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Sam Maul came in 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walks, and 0 strikeouts. Chandler, how do you say his name? Because I don't want to screw up his name.
Marinaccio?
Yeah. Whatever this dude's name is. Me and Chandler were talking about this last night. It was so
Maraschino
funny.
Cherry.
Yeah. We picked him up for the Pirates off waivers. He didn't have a good outing either. Two innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Nothing to really talk about on the defense side of things, nor the base running. We left 6 men on base. Last game against the Nationals, guys, 1-7 loss. We batted 138 in that game, 0 home runs. Dane Myers is our only RBI, our only run accounted for. Brady Singer, 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 1 home run. Brock Burke, 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Antone, 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Nothing to really talk about on neither the base running or the defense, and we left 3 men on base. Chandler, it's easy to say that our bats were kind of there in the series, but our pitching was absolutely horrific. It was terrible. So,
Great.
I know we have something after that we'll get into in the dugout debate, but Chandler, take it away for that White Sox series.
All right, that first game against the White Sox, we had that win 5-4. We hit 194, not 94. Just that was the National Series. 194. We had a home run by Gino. We had 5 RBIs total that game. 2 by Stevenson, 2 by Ellie, and 1 by Gino. Lodolo started. Finally got to see the return of Nick Lodolo. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, 4 earned runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 3 homers allowed. Fortunately, they weren't huge home runs. Luis May went 2 innings that game, allowing no hits, no earned runs, no walks, and having 2 strikeouts. Pierce Johnson, 1 inning, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. TJ Antone turned things around from that last game against the Nationals. 1 inning, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts. 1 inning from Brock Burke, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. And Emilio Pagan, 1 inning, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Nothing really for the defense or the base running for that game. 4 left on base. Second game against the White Sox, we lost 5-0. We only hit .071.
That's right.
And who did we face in that game to get his revenge on us? Luis Castillo. Uh, Obviously, no home runs, no RBIs that game. Completely got blanked offensively. And I believe we were getting no hit through what, 4 or 5 innings that game?
I think it was 4 innings.
Rhett Lauder went 5 1/3 innings, allowing 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and a homer. And unfortunately, the bullpen didn't really hold their end of the bargain either. Garcia pitched 2/3 of an inning, allowing 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 1 strikeout, 1 homer allowed. Sam Ball went an inning, allowing 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts. But Marinaccio came in 1 inning, 1 hit allowed, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. We did have a nice double play turn by Ellie, McLean, and Toglia. And then Matt McLean was caught stealing on the bases. We left 4 on base that game. Even leaving those 4 guys on base, that still wouldn't have been enough even if we would have driven those guys in.
Nope.
Just didn't really have the offense at all that game. Game 6, over those 2 series, was that 9-8 win against the White Sox. We hit .235 that game. We had 3 homers, one by Sal, one by Gino, and one by Stevenson. Of those 9 RBIs that we had, 4 were from Gino, 3 were from Tyler Stevenson with a huge home run in that game, and 2 by Sal Stewart. Starting pitching wise, Andrew Abbott. He was our starter that game. Went 4 1/3 innings, allowing 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Brock Burke went 2/3 of an inning, allowing 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. TJ Antone, 1 inning, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Luis May went an inning, allowing no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Sam Mall went 2/3 of an inning, allowing 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and picking up 1 strikeout. Pierce Johnson went a third of an inning, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. And Julian Garcia went an inning, allowing 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Nothing crazy for the defensive side of things. We did have a stolen base by Dayton Myers, and we left 8 on base. So obviously, we had some showings of some offense in that series compared to the National Series, but also in the middle of the 2 games where we had offense, we had nothing again.
Yeah, and like you said, that 0-5 loss. I mean, we were facing Luis Castillo, and he was no hitting us through 4. And I mean, how do you really bounce back from that? But I mean, they did. They won that game. They won that last game against the White Sox. So awesome, awesome bounce back.
We had 2 quality starts, or well, 1 actual quality start, my bad, over those
Right.
2 series. Brady Singer in the last game of the National Series, going 6 innings, 3 earned runs allowed. But then Rhett Lauder was 2 outs away from having a quality start in his own right in that second game against the White Sox. If he just had 2 more outs that he would have recorded and didn't give up a run, that would have been 6 innings with 2 earned runs. So bullpen obviously didn't help us out in that game, but that just kind of goes to show how rough the starting pitching had been, where that's the only 2 good starts that we kind of had.
Yeah, the starting pitching will get talked about. I mean, that was a very huge issue in these 2 series. And that's something we haven't that's something we haven't seen all season. Not that bad. I mean, I believe he pitched in this 2 series. Yeah, Chase Burns. I mean, Chase Burns especially. I mean, he's now 13-2 on the season. He had a rough outing against the Nationals. I mean, I was expecting him to come in and dominate against the Nationals, not pick up his second loss of the season. So, I don't know. But you got anything on those 2 series before we get into the Reds Reloaded injury report?
No, I think that's all I really want to talk about those 2 series. I think quicker that we move on mentally from that, then maybe we can have some excitement for the next two.
Absolutely. So, guys, let's get into the Reds Reloaded injury report, brought to you by W Energy. Thank you to our sponsor W for doing everything you do. And guys, if you haven't copped W, go for it. I know Chandler drinks it on a daily, I think. Chandler, what flavor do you have?
I have the sour gummy bear.
Yeah, so they have all sorts of flavors, guys, and like we said before, they give you no jitters, laser focus over the course of time, and they will W Energy. I mean, maybe half of these Reds players on the IL could use W Energy. We might pitch the idea for them to hit our link and use our code. But players currently on the IL, Graham Ashcraft still on the 60-day DL. Brandon Williamson, got an update about him. Blake Dunn, 60-day DL. Tony Santillan still on the 15-day IL. Spencer Steers on the 10-day IL. And our new one. Man, this hurts. It really, truly does. Hunter Greene. Hunter Greene is back on the IL, guys, and he is on the 60-day IL. He will likely, I'll just go over that real quick. Hunter Greene, he'll be out for the next 12 to 18 months after undergoing his second Tommy John surgery on Wednesday. So this might be, here's a hot take, Chandler. Do you think Hunter Greene retires from baseball? I saw something about this. Do you think Hunter Greene retires?
No. The only way that would happen is if after the surgery he just doesn't get back to pro level form. But I mean, I think he'll be able to return. It's not necessarily guaranteed, but I don't really have any reason to think that he would hang it up after this. I think he's got more in the tank.
Right. And I know you wanted to cover something about him, but I'll let you cover it right after I cover this rehab assignment. Brandon Williamson, guys, we're about to see Brandon Williamson come back, and that is really nice because we can replace Chase Petty in the rotation. Brandon Williamson, he allowed 2 hits and 1 walk while striking out 2 over 2 innings in Tuesday's rehab start for AAA Louisville. So it's going to be nice to see Brandon Williamson for the I believe first time in 2026.
No, he was there on the team early in the year because of Hunter Greene and Lodolo both being out. It's kind of how Lauder and Williamson made it onto the team to start things out.
So good to see him rehabbing nice and well. And Chandler, I said, yeah, I believe you had something about Hunter Greene.
We can get into that in the dugout debate if you want.
Okay.
After the awards, I feel like there's a few questions on him on there.
Do you have anything else about maybe how injuries affect the lineup's starting rotation? Who steps in to fill this role? I think that's a big question with our rotation right now because
Yeah,
half of our pitchers are down.
yeah. I mean, going into just like overall the injuries that we've had this year, think about some of the names that are on that list when the Reds were having some success. I know Brandon Williamson wasn't necessarily having the best performances every single day, but that's at least another option that we can use in the rotation because at this point, if somebody goes down and gets hurt, we need somebody to cover that. And I don't know if we want Chase Petty to be that guy. Maybe he'd be just more useful out of the bullpen. Um, Losing Steer is that one hurts. Blake Dunn definitely hurts, but look at Graham Ashcraft and Tony Santion. Those are two solid names out of the bullpen that we're missing right now. Hunter Greene. I mean, we were excited to have him back. The Reds got on a roll, and then now that we've lost Hunter Greene, our momentum has kind of shifted negatively. Uh, it impacts the club more than just from missing that player's performance, but it also will rub off on the other players. Like, man, maybe we are out of it because we just lost, our, I guess, second best pitcher now because Chase Burns is kind of taking over the best pitcher spot. But
I got a follow up question
thanks.
for that in the dugout debate, but we can absolutely go into the dugout debate here in a second. Um, guys, who is reloaded? Who is the award winners? Brought to you by our new affiliate. Brought to you by Fanatics. If you like who you hear on these player awards, go and pick up a jersey, maybe a jersey, a shirt from Fanatics. Make sure you use our link that we posted on Facebook. Pick up your favorite players' gear, or just Reds gear in general. Love for you to use our link and support us, support Fanatics. We appreciate them. Appreciate them taking us on. I can't speak today. I'm having problems.
It's just one of those days, man.
It is. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. But this is our favorite time of the week, guys. If you really know us, this is our favorite time of the week. But player of the week, guys. I'm going to cover player of the week, hot bat, and pitcher, and then I'll let Chandler take over that needs to bounce back and unsung hero. Player of the week, guys. There is no doubt in my mind. There was no ifs, no ands, no buts that Suarez was our player of the week. Over his last 6 games, he has a .250 batting average. He has a .333 OPS and a .900 slugging. He has 4 home runs and 8 RBIs. Guys, Suarez back. Suarez maybe next year if we have a season. But I don't know. He's making a good point to sign him to another contract. But hot bat, guys. Sal Stewart. Sal Stewart in his last 6 games, he has .292 batting average. He has an on-base percentage of .346 and has a slugging of .417. He has 1 home run and 2 RBIs. Guys, our pitcher of the week. This was pretty easy. I was talking to Chandler. Chandler's like, "Oh, what about Pagan? What about this?" I was like, "No, Chandler. It's Luis May. It's Luis May, guys." Coming out of the bullpen, and Chandler said this too. If he keeps his walks down, he is an amazing pitcher. He pitched 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 8 strikeouts. That's a solid performance over these 6 games. And he's a solid arm. I know we didn't see that kind of stuff from him in the beginning of the season. That's why we sent him back down to AAA. And maybe he found it. And maybe he's coming back. Solid option out of the bullpen. to take place of Graham Ashcraft and Tony Santion. So, Chandler, man, what about that bounce back award?
So much for an award. Like you said, it's not a great award. Uh, it's the whole starting rotation, right? They went 27 innings over those two series, allowing 35 hits, 21 earned runs, 8 walks, 22 strikeouts, and 6 homers. And I mean, just overall lousy performance. Honestly, there's not much of another way that you can really put it. For the unsung hero, though, had to throw in Tyler Stevenson. In his last 6 games, he had a 250 batting average, 333 on base, 438 slugging, and he had a huge home run in the last game against the White Sox, collecting 3 RBIs. Off of that, he had 5 in total over the 2 series against the Nationals and the White Sox. I just think Tyler Stevenson has been that guy. Started getting really hot, kept getting hotter and hotter. The deadline was approaching. He kept, rolling. Tried to not let it distract him too much, and he kind of cooled off a little bit after that, but he's heating back up again. Stevenson is, in my mind, like we mentioned last week's episode, absolutely a guy that we want to extend. Somebody that we want to keep long term.
I think we almost signed him to a multi-year deal at this point. He's making a point, and he's a really solid option behind the plate. And I really don't think we need to get rid of him because we don't have catching options past Trevino. So, not at least someone that's ready.
Yeah.
We do have options, but they're not ready yet. So, he's making a point. All right, guys. Going out of Who's Reloaded into the dugout debate. Now, guys, this is kind of like questions we came up with, questions we got from Facebook, stuff like that. We kind of threw it all together and kind of combined our Facebook post into one. So, Chandler, your first question. Will Hunter Greene pitch in 2027?
I don't think so. Do you?
I honestly don't think anybody's pitching in 2027, to be honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't think anybody's pitching in 27 because I don't think there's going to be a season. So
something that I've been thinking about off of that question is when he does return, whether that's somehow next season, if we even play, or if it's in 2028, should he stay in the rotation, or do you think he should be moved to the bullpen?
I think he's I was talking about him retiring, right? I think if he continues in the starting rotation, yes, he's going to retire early because he's going to get more injured. He kind of reminds me of Aroldis Chapman. Here's why, right? He throws fast 90% of the time, and he wants to throw heat. Now, those heaters are only good when you're only throwing maybe an inning or 2 innings. It's not good for 6, 7 innings. And you're not going to get a solid starting outing when you're throwing 98 to 100 miles an hour every pitch. So, yeah, he's going to tear up that elbow even more if he keeps in the starting rotation. So, yeah, I think if he moved to the bullpen, he would be a solid option out of the bullpen. Probably in that closer role, I would put him in.
I think that's where his value really lies at this point. I've seen some people post and comment about, well, he should have stayed a shortstop, but obviously, hindsight's 2020, and I'm like, injuries would have happened regardless, whether he would have been playing shortstop, whether he would have been a starter. I just feel like, from my point of view, out of the bullpen, he would be throwing less in each given game.
Hmm.
and he would, he just wouldn't be throwing as many innings total on the season. So I feel like it would maybe save his arm, and he would have that really good value as a closer. I think that's where his key would be at this point because he has that history of being injured a lot. And if we want to preserve him to pitch as much as he can throughout his career, I feel like maybe that's the spot for him.
Absolutely. I mean, I completely agree. I just don't want to see Hunter Greene have to retire early because he's getting injured way too much.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we're looking at now his second Tommy John since he's been up, and he hasn't been up for he hasn't been up for long. So
Well,
it
the
really
first one was in the minors back in 2019, but
yeah.
yeah.
So I just don't want to see him struggle his whole career with injuries because I think he is a solid option for us out of the bullpen. So going off of that, so Suarez had an amazing performance, right? He has an OPS over 900, four home runs, 8 RBIs over the last 7 days. Do you think we pick up that club option for him for 2027 if there's a season?
I At this rate, I feel like they will. Um, in part because they'd have the opportunity that they could trade him next year, and they need to get the if we do get to the salary cap and salary floor, what they were proposing is like $170 million that the teams would have to be spending at a minimum, like 171 point something million. We would still have to spend like another what did I tell you yesterday or the day before? Like we'd have to spend another $40 million or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
So losing Gino wouldn't be helping our budget go up. So I would like to think that we would hold on to him.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Key Brian Hayes, worst probably trade that the Reds have made in the past 2 years. I don't think Key Brian Hayes is the answer at third base. I think Gino still has some gas in him the next couple years, and I think he's a solid option for third base right now. I don't. Key Brian Hayes performed well for us last year, but what is he doing this year? Absolutely nothing. He is not the answer at third base. He's not hitting. Gino, slugging over 900, man. Uh, and that's something I really look at because like he's performing well at third base. He's performing well hitting wise. So I think he's our starting third baseman right now.
Yeah.
So
So who do you think we'll see off the injured list of all those names that we had on the injury report? Who do you think will come back this season?
so obviously Brandon Williamson, he'll come back. But to be honest, I think we should. It's almost like we need to wait until September, right? We need to wait until. I mean, we have tough schedule in September, a really tough schedule, and if we can somehow pull that out, I would love to see all of them back, right? But we're not going to see Blake Dunn. We're not going to see Hunter Greene. Most likely, we're not going to see Graham Ashcraft. So maybe Santion Williamson and I don't know who else was on that list. Spencer Steer, maybe. I would love to see them going into the postseason, so we have options in the starting rotation, bullpen, and in the lineup. So, who do you think we're going to see?
Also, depending on performance and where we are, in my opinion, if we were to get hot and perform well in September, I think we see the chances of somebody like Santion and Spencer Steer going up. Like you said, I think Williamson he will be back, but with the other guys, it's just going to depend on what our performance is at that point in the season. If it doesn't look like we really need them to show up because we're at a lost point in the season anyway, then I don't see Steer coming back. I think they just let him rest the rest of the season, go into the off season, and then hopefully be able to, just prep and focus on getting ready for next year. Same with Santion. Ashcraft, I don't think he's going to be back this year. I don't think um I don't think Hunter Greene will be there next year either. So he's already a lock for not pitching the rest of the season. So we might only have a couple people that we see.
He might be on the Reds' reloaded injury report all next year. So
The
you guys
longest
could have,
tenured person on the injury report for us.
yeah. We'll make that a stat, guys. Who has been on the injury report the longest? And I think Hunter Greene takes it right now, to be honest. But Graham Ashcraft's been on there for a while. But kind of going off that, guys. If you guys watch that last game of the White Sox series, you watched Martin, pitcher of the Chicago White Sox, throw at Sal Stewart. And Sal came back. Sal hit a home run. Now, the thing that ticks me off the most, and I'll be completely honest about this, guys. I love the family-friendly aspect, but at the same time, I'm going to stand up for my players that I root for and that I love. Sal Stewart got two baseballs thrown at his head in the head area. Now, you can kill somebody with that. Those are coming 95 to 100 miles an hour, and you can absolutely kill somebody if a baseball hits you in the head that fast. If I was his teammates, I would have went out there and handled business. I will be completely honest. At the end of the day, yes, you got to be professional, but you got to stand up for your players. And that's one thing that really irked me about the Reds dugout, that they didn't come out. Yeah, they talked some crap, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't stand up like Chandler, let's say 2010 Reds, 2012 Reds. We saw BP, where BP used to pick fights with Yadier Molina, and we would see Scott Rowland come in and take Yadier Molina completely out. But
look at 2019 with us against the Pirates and stuff.
oh
For
god,
example,
Amir Garrett fighting the whole Pirates team by himself.
Amir Garrett, Yasiel Puig. I mean, well, that was some things. That was just two players themselves, but look at the fun that we had, the entertainment value that we had that year. We also had, I believe it was also in 2019, uh, going against the Cubs. There was a when trying to think who it was now, but they had a pitcher, might have been Strope, who threw at Yasiel Puig, and benches cleared, bullpens came running out there. One of the few instances of something like that I've seen in person. And it was like, dude, like it felt like those guys were just ready to go at it. David Bell was all about it. Uh, Obviously, like we mentioned, Amir Garrett, Yasiel Puig, those guys just they brought fire to the team, and they kind of like helped set a tone. Like, hey, we're not gonna just let you guys do this. We're going to handle business.
Yeah, and I think we can both agree. The team should have handled that a lot better than they did. Um, Stand up for your players, because I wouldn't want to see Sal Stewart go down right now. He's our top performing player of 2026. We can't afford to lose him. And I think Martin had something to say, and he said it. But he did say, and I think he's bullcrap on this, he did say that was not intentional at all. He has a blister, blah, blah, blah. You don't see Nick Lodolo out there throwing at heads because, man, that man is known for blisters. But you don't see that crap. And that really ticked me off. And I think it ticked Terry Francona off too. Martin did get thrown out of the game, so the umpires handled that well. So
I'm
yeah,
trying to remember who was it that said it. Was it maybe the cowboy that mentioned it, where he said like, "Hey, you gotta like back up Sal. Like you gotta protect him at all costs because it's not anything new where people have been throwing at him or chirping at him, anything like that. You gotta stand up for him, and you need to just be ready to, whether that's evacuate the dugouts and bullpens and fight, or if that just means retaliation, as in the pitching staff gets a player the next inning. Got to do something to show that we're just not going to be pushed around like that.
we're not. We're not. And I think it's a lot different era. Terry Francona era versus the David Bell era. David Bell would have been out there probably fighting with the manager of the other team and standing up for his team, but we don't see that with Terry. Terry's that calm, cool, collected guy that don't really fight, don't really do any of that, don't argue. I think he's only got thrown out of one game this season, so but I don't know.
It was me. I've been thrown out of like 20.
But Chandler, you got another question, I believe, for me?
Yeah, so we've had those skits that we did last weekend. Those videos are coming out sporadically. And one of the jokes that we had, right, in the video, one of the videos you use in was, you know, do we think that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame? We've mentioned it a couple times, I think, on the podcast, but we haven't really talked about it in the dugout debate itself, I don't think.
Yeah, we mentioned this, I believe it was last week or the week before, because we were kind of going over Pete Rose and his 44 game hitting streak in the Reds history section. But yeah, I'm all for Pete Rose being in the Hall of Fame um, because he deserves it. He really truly does. And Chandler, I think you think the same way, right?
Yeah, I think the Hit King um, should have already been reinstated in the baseball. Should have already been, put into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. I think it's long overdue, and I hate that he's not going to be able to be alive to see it. However, I saw a comment on our post on Facebook, and they said a fan had mentioned he's in the Reds Hall of Fame, and that's the one that meant the most to him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I got the comments actually pulled up right here. So we got yes, 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 absolutely. One of the best to ever do it. Yes. Of course he should. He was a great player. Nobody better. Um, I might disagree with that statement, but we'll go past that. But yes, yes. This person said no. His gambling screwed that up. Um, yes, yes. This person said no. This other person said no. This other person said no. So we got a mixed emotions kind of in the comments, but guys, I will say, me and Chandler already talked about this. We talked about this after we filmed all those videos that we are sporadically posting. We will be in Cooperstown if Pete Rose gets inducted. I can promise that. Reds Reloaded podcast will be in Cooperstown, maybe on a live video or making a video when Pete Rose gets inducted in the Hall of Fame, because I think it is 100% happening. So be watching for a video in 2028 of Pete Rose getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
The other thing I think that I kind of just want to throw out there, because I'd mentioned it in an argument where people were talking about like Barry Bonds as well in those conversations, and I was like, they don't really care about being in Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame as much, because they understand that they don't need the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame needs them.
Right. Right. And yeah, I think you do say that well. So, after that long dugout debate, let's go into around the NL Central Division baseball. Guys, the division has not changed since last week. Brewers are still on top at 75 and 47. The Cubs are in second place at 71 and 51. The Cardinals are in third place at 61 and 60. The Reds are in fourth place at 58 and 62, and the Pirates are in dead last at 59 and 64. Wild card race. The Brewers are the division leaders. Obviously, they're going to get into the playoffs if the season ended today. The Cubs hold the first wild card spot as of today. Cardinals are 3 games back. The Reds are 5.5 back. And the Pirates are 6 games back. Guys, it is very, very important that we win these next 3 games against the Marlins. The Marlins are in the playoff race too, and they're only 2.5 games back from a wild card spot. Now you see, Reds are 5.5, Marlins are 2.5. It's very important that we win that series and take that series. So, my biggest surprise team in the NL Central is the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's my reason why. They have completely fallen apart the second half of the season. Ever since the All-Star break, they are 11 and 15. So, great to see them fall off. I mean, that helps the Reds out. But they are now 61 and 60, and the Reds are 58 and 62. So, we are right there with them, fighting for that third place spot and fighting for a wild card spot at this point.
If they continue to struggle, and then we have the 5 games that we have facing them coming up next week, I mean, we could jump ahead in the third place.
I mean, we could jump in a wild card spot, guys. We might go 8-0 in these next 2 series. Who knows? But, Chandler, who's that surprise team in the NL Central?
So, for me, it is the Cubs. They are only 4 games back in the division now behind the Brewers, and they are 8-2 in their last 10. So, we might see them leap ahead of the Brewers depending on how the rest of the season is playing out for both those teams.
That'd be huge. That'd be huge. We really haven't seen the Cubs do anything since 2016, and they went on to win the World Series that year. So, biggest surprise. This makes me so happy. Biggest surprise MLB team. Guys, I am going to have to go with those beautiful Los Angeles Dodgers. I love to see them choke. It makes me happy. They are 12 and 13 since the All-Star break. Since coming back from the All-Star break, they're 12 and 13. So they got a losing record, guys. We have a chance. We have a chance. But them losing brings up a really good point that we could be facing them in the wild card game again. I hope that's not the case, guys. I really hope that's not the case.
Because as of right now, they don't hold a first-round bye.
Yeah, so we could. I mean, if we got into the wild card spot, we could be playing the Dodgers yet again.
Yep.
Who's your surprise MLB team, Chandler?
The Tampa Bay Rays. They now hold the best record in Major League Baseball, and they are 9-1 in their last 10 games. Overall in the season, they're 74 and 46. They have a 61.7% win percentage. It's quite interesting. The Brewers are 75 and 47. They have a 61.5% winning percentage. So the Rays are just barely ahead of them, but they do have the best record in baseball right now.
Yeah. So talking about these next 2 series, right? We got the Marlins for 3, and we have the Cardinals for 5. Guys, the reason we're playing 5 games, we have a makeup game from earlier in the season. They're playing on Monday. They're playing 2 games. So, Chandler, our stuff was really, really off last week. Really off. It was kind of embarrassing what we actually said, but we're not going to get into that. We're just going to go into what do you think our series record will be? We play 8 games.
I will try to be optimistic and hope that we bounce back. And I'll say that we go 5-3.
Okay. Okay. I who's your player of the week?
I think with the tear that he's been on, I just want to give it to Sal. I think that Sal is really getting motivated by this rookie of the year race, and I think that he's going to continue to stay hot. And I'm hoping that he's able to not get thrown at and get hurt or anything, so he can keep showcasing his performance. And I mean, that's the thing. The rookie of the year race is between Sal and JJ Weatherholt. They're going to be facing each other, you know, for 5 games in that Cardinal series. So if he's going to show out, he needs to do it. Do it now. I think the pitcher with the best performance. I think we see a bounce back from Chase Burns. I
Yeah.
think that he'll be the best one for our rotation anyway. Home run leader, I will go with. I'll say Gino. I'll say Gino. Stays pretty hot, keeps hitting home runs. We'll go with that one, and then my bold prediction. Mm, I don't know if it's necessarily the most bold, but I'm going to predict that we win the series against the Marlins.
Okay. I mean, I think we have a possible chance to sweep them if we can stay hot.
Yeah.
Especially that momentum heading out of the White Sox series. All right, my prediction. I'm always optimistic, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, just for wild card 6, I say we go 6-2.
Okay.
6-2. Like you said, Chase Burns going to bounce back. I think our player of the week. I want to say Tyler Stevenson. Tyler Stevenson's been on a tear. He's had a lot of good games, so I think Tyler Stevenson kind of bounces back, and kind of our player of the week. Our home run leader, I think I 100% agree with you. I think it's between Suarez and I think it's between Sal Stewart. Those two are our hottest hitters right now, and I think one of those takes the home run lead. Winning pitcher. I want to say Brady Singer's going to have a bounce back start. I would hope, because he's been our dominant pitcher for weeks now. He just had a rough outing these last 2 series. I want to say he bounced back, but I think I agree with you. Chase Burns is going to bounce back and get his 14th win of the season. Bold prediction. This is tough.
Yeah, it is.
This is tough. I think we see. It's a bold prediction. I think we see 3 or more stolen bases by Ellie De La Cruz.
Okay.
Put that on DraftKings, guys. Put in your bets right now. 3 or more stolen bases in these next 2 series. But yeah, I think the Reds have it. We just gotta find those ways to win. It's late in the season. It's getting late in the season now. We got to find a ways to win. No matter, I don't care if we win by 1 run. A win's a win at this point. I mean, we're heading into fall baseball, and we know how fall baseball is. Everybody's fighting for a title, right? And we need to step up. So, guys, this is very, very funny. Chandler, I think this is hilarious, to be honest. Uh, Today in Reds history. No, I think it's funny because we're playing the same team today as we played in Reds history. So, guys, today in Reds history, August 14th, 2010, the Reds win in a close one at GABP. The Reds defeated the Florida Marlins, not the Miami Marlins. For you kiddos that don't remember the Florida Marlins, they were once the Florida Marlins. They used to have a stadium that had orange seats and everything like that. It was beautiful. Hard Rock Stadium, as they would call it. But they won 5-4 at Great American Ballpark. Mike Leake earned the win, and Francisco Cordero recorded his 31st save on the season. After the victory, the Reds were 66-51 on the season. Man, don't we wish we were there? I would take it back. That is one time. If there is one moment that I had to go back to, it's the 2010 season. The 2010 season was amazing for me.
Yeah, it was magical.
It was.
Bunch of young studs and veterans.
We absolutely, late in the season, we have a memory. And I will post a video that day of Jay Bruce's walk-off home run. That is one of my favorite times. My dad was outside screaming at the top of his lungs. And my dad's not a huge baseball fan anymore. He don't really watch baseball. He watches more football. But he was screaming at the top of his lungs when Jay Bruce hit that home run to take the Central Division.
It was an all-time Reds moment, one of the greatest moments in Reds history.
Might be the greatest moment other than World Series wins.
Then the first time that we would have been in the postseason since, 95 or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, ended a big drought.
And plus, I mean, Jay Bruce played for 2 years before that? So he did that. That was prime Jay Bruce. So, but anyway, guys, that is going to close out another episode of Reds Reloaded. This is our 20th episode, guys. We are super excited. Cheers to 20, Chandler. Hopefully we can make it to 30. But, guys, we have big things coming. I promise big things are coming for us. We might hit 1,000 streams before next episode. So be looking on our Facebook page, YouTube, and everything. You might win 2 free Reds tickets, guys. And I'm going to say this right now. I am not putting you up in the trash seats. I have a plan. You guys are going to love it. I promise. Reds Reloaded is a lot better than every other podcast. We provide for our fans. There's a reason you guys listen to us and love us. And we will show the love back. But 2 free Reds tickets coming at 1,000 streams. I already have a wheel set up with all your guys' names on it. And I will get the ones that followed us today. I believe our count, last time I looked, is at 571 on Facebook. We have over almost 340,000 views in the last 28 days. We have gained over 450 followers on Facebook. Guys, we do appreciate the love and the support. I know Chandler does too. Chandler, you want to talk about it? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, again, thanks a lot. Facebook is not the only spot where you can find us. You can also find us on X. You can find us on Instagram. Obviously, you can listen to us on all these different platforms. You can listen to us on YouTube, where you can also watch. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, my bad, iHeartRadio, and on Audible through Amazon.
Yeah. We actually have a large listening on Apple Podcast. I know our main source is YouTube. We're up to 600 streams on YouTube. But we're getting a lot of people on Apple Podcast, and guys, we do appreciate that for sure. We do appreciate that, and we will show the love back. I promise. 1K streams. I already have a plan, and you guys will absolutely love it. You guys will thank us because we will be the best podcast out there that covers the Cincinnati Reds. We will get to that point.
And if you guys don't want to miss anything that we put out, make sure that you follow us and turn on notifications on all the platforms so you don't miss another episode or another post.
Hit that like a drum. Like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe. But guys, we do appreciate the love and support. We will never, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to message us. I'm more than likely going to tell you that we'll answer it in the next episode because it's easier to just, hey, Chandler, will you add it to the script? Or Kyle, will you add it to the script? It's a lot easier. So we do answer questions on next episodes if you guys send in questions. So if you're not getting an answer back, just watch the next episode, and I guarantee you'll have an answer. But guys, we do appreciate the love and support. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow on all social medias, all listening platforms. And as Marty would say, this one belongs to the Reds. See you guys.